Welcome, you're watching CNN News 18 and I'm Ritangshu Bhattacharya. Let's take you through the top headlines at this hour. Centre announces more exemptions to the lockdown which is going on. Neighbourhood shops selling non-essential items to reopen but with certain conditions in place. Shopping malls will remain shut. 1,752 new cases in the last 24 hours. That is the biggest single-day spike so far. But the government says that if the lockdown hadn't been imposed, there would have been up to 1 lakh cases by now. Can an anti-leprosy vaccine help boost immunity against coronavirus? The Director General of CSIR speaks exclusively to CNN News 18 and gives his take on the issue. As the holy month of Ramzan begins, clerics and Muslim leaders appeal to the community to respect the lockdown, respect social distancing guidelines and stay home. And the COVID-19 death toll in the United States crosses 50,000, but Spain's daily count falls to the lowest in more than a month. First, the big news that came in late last night. The Home Ministry has announced more exemptions to the ongoing lockdown. The centre has allowed shops selling non-essential items or goods to reopen, but with certain conditions in place. The shops, however, have to function at 50% strength and practice social distancing. All shops in non-hotspot, rural and semi-rural areas can open as well. To really understand what shops can open and what have to still stay shut, let's go across to our Deputy Editor Arunama. She tracks the Home Ministry, who's joining us on the phone line. Arunama, what are the details of this latest order from the Home Ministry?
So, essentially there are two new clauses which have been added to the consolidated guidelines which were issued by MHA on the 15th of April. The distinction being made in the new guidelines are in municipal areas and non-municipal areas. So for ease of understanding, let me just call municipal areas as urban areas and non-municipal as rural areas. So what this order says, that in rural areas, all shops are allowed to open, whether they are in residential areas, whether they are standalone shops, or they are operating in market complexes. However, in urban areas, only those shops which are standalone or are in residential areas can function. Those in market complexes are not allowed. Both in rural and in urban, any shop which is in a multi-brand mall or a single brand mall, anything in a mall can't function. So in Delhi, for example, if you're talking about the Lajpat Nagar market or a Nehru Place market, these market complexes can't operate. Any DDA market complex can't operate. But if in your society there is a shop, or if in your locality there is a shop which is standalone, even if that shop is selling AC or laptop or any other non-essential, that is allowed to sell goods. In rural areas, like I said, the restrictions are far less. Even in markets that have been created, non-essential, essential, everything can be sold.
The other important aspect which a lot of people have been asking, Arunama, is there any clarity as to whether wine shops will be allowed to open or function in any sort of restrictions at all?
No, liquor shops are still not allowed. This new clause which has been added are specifically shops which are authorized under the Shops and Establishment Act of the states and union territories. Liquor shops are governed by a separate act, a separate licensing category and under the excise rules. They don't follow under the Shops and Establishment Act, so liquor shops will not open. Even people have even asked whether barbers those shops, salons can open. Now the point there is that MHA guideline makes it very clear that these shops can operate if they follow social distancing. Social distancing basically means you have to keep the 6 feet distance. Can a barber really operate keeping a 6 feet distance from the client? I don't think so. So that will be a shop which is very difficult to open as well.
Well, so no end really to the haircutting woes of our viewers. Thanks a lot, Arunama, for joining us with those updates. But some relief for the people of India who have been going through a lockdown for the past 32 days.